Welcome to French Grammar A. Ready to learn 1 year's worth of French grammar in just 10 minutes? Let's go! French is a SVO language with two genders. SVO means that the basic sentence follows the same order as English: subject, verb, object, such as I have some bread or Amanda eats the bread. Two genders in this case mean that all nouns, people, places, objects, ideas, and all adjectives describing words have a gender, male or female. To tell if a noun is male or female, you can use the endings from the box on the left. If you want to change the gender, you can use all the other rules here. The male form is the one you'll find in the dictionary, so most cases, to make it female, you can just add E, or if it already ends in E, you leave it alone. If you want to say something is small, you can use the diminutive form. This is not commonly used, so don't worry about perfecting it yet. If you want to make something plural, or say there's more than one of something, in most cases you can just add S or X to the end of the word unless it already ends with S or X. The final S or X is not pronounced. The subject part of SVO order is made up of nouns, or more specifically, subject pronouns. If you want to use one of the nouns we've learned, it would fall under the single third-person category because words like Brian and the dog can be replaced with he and it. However, if you want to say the dogs or Brian and his dog, that would fall under the third-person plural category because the words can be replaced by the word they. Pay attention to the 6 different categories because you're going to need them next. Verbs mark an action or existence of something in the sentence, and they are the V in the SVO order. Verbs in French change endings depending on the subject pronoun we just talked about, and depending on the time they took place or the mood the speaker was in when they said it. You can learn more about verbs in my verbs video, but for now, we're just going to pay attention to the present tense. The dictionary form is called the infinitive, and it means to, like to dance, to sing. If you want to use 2 or more verbs in the sentence, the first verb must match the subject, but all other verbs in the sentence must be the infinitive. In order to make something negative, put ne and pas around the first verb, or just pas after the verb if you're speaking conversationally. This is true for all tenses. If you want to say pas in a noun, you would have to say pas de. Use N with an apostrophe if the verb after it starts with a vowel sound. There are 4 ways to create yes or no questions in French. The first way is you just add a question mark and change the intonation. Tu aimes danser? Tu aimes danser? Next, you can add est-ce que to the beginning of a sentence. Tu aimes danser? Est-ce que tu aimes danser? The third way is you switch the subject and a verb. If you're using il or elle and a verb that doesn't end in D or T, you have to stick T in between. Tu aimes danser? Aimes-tu danser? Il aime les animaux. Aime-t-il les animaux? Lastly, you can take a normal sentence and add a tag question like n'est-ce pas to the end. Tu aimes danser, n'est-ce pas? When creating complex questions, you can use the question word plus method 2 or 3 from the previous slide. So you can do question word plus est-ce que, qu'est-ce que tu veux faire avec les livres? And you can use a question word but with inversion. Que veux-tu chercher demain? Determiners are very important because just about every single noun needs them. The most common ones you will see are a, some, and the. Notice that the plural of un and du are the same, des, and they both mean some. If you don't want to use the previous determiners, you can use possessive pronouns, such as my or mine. For the 3 words in the left table, the first is male, second is female, and third is plural. For the box on the left, the forms are male singular, male plural, and female plural. If you don't want to use the previous determiners or possessive pronouns, you can use ce, which means this or that. Ce has to agree with a noun in gender and number. Ce can mean both this and that, but if you want to specify this, you put a ci after the noun, and if you want to specify that, put la after the noun. Cet homme-ci connaît cet homme-là. There are very few cases where you won't include any determiner. These are for professions. Il est médecin. For ownership. Ce tigre est à Jasmine. Notice that it's not the Jasmine, like in certain languages. Je veux une tasse de thé. It would be de thé, not du thé. When speaking a language, je parle français. You can also say je parle le français and je parle en français, but those have slightly different meanings. If you want to use this or that, but this time with a verb or a pronoun instead of a noun or adjective, you must use a form of celui. On the right side, you can see that both c'est and il est both means it is. If you're going to use c'est, a determiner and a noun should come next. It can also be used as an exclamation, like c'est super, or for something in general. For il est, you can use it with adjectives to describe a person, or for jobs, like il est médecin. Luckily, there are no cases in French, but that means that word order is highly important and doesn't change very often, and when it does, the meaning changes too. On the bottom, you'll see that if you want to show ownership, you can use de to say the object plus de plus the owner. Keep in mind that if de goes next to le or les, it becomes du or des. No matter where adjectives are in a sentence, they have to match their noun in gender and number. Adjectives go after the noun in French. For most adjectives, if you want to make it female and it ends in E, leave it alone. And if it doesn't end in E, add an E. Certain adjectives don't go after the noun if they have to do with beauty, age, goodness, or size. These adjectives go before the noun. A small group of adjectives also change meanings depending on if they go before or after the noun, so watch out for these. Adverbs can be used to describe adjectives, verbs, or other adverbs. They can go at the beginning of the sentence, after the first verb, at the end of a sentence, or before an adjective. Expressions of time and date can either go at the beginning of a sentence or at the end, but they usually stay away from the verb. Notice how by putting le before a day of the week, like le lundi, means every Monday. Congratulations! You finished the French Grammar A course. Now you know a good amount of grammar that you would need to get through 1 year of French. You have the grammar now, but if you need words or conjugations, you should check out WordReference Dictionary or Verbix.com, or check out any of the links I've mentioned in the video, which will be below in the description. If you want to check out French Grammar B, make sure you understand the material in this video at least 80%, and you should have heard of the conditional and pluperfect. I'll see you in the next one. À bientôt!